Hello and greetings to our market commentary. This is a weekly show that Coach Blooming and I do, and we talk about the markets and making money in the stock market. As usual, today we are going to talk about who is in the White House. I'm sure by now you know who is in the White House. We also talk about the current state of the market, what is currently happening mostly in the US stock markets, and talk about crypto, Tesla, and other stocks generally in terms of the economic outlook. And equally importantly, because economic data sometimes moves the market, we are going to share with you what we think in terms of the economic data and how it's going to possibly move the market. Again, on this show, we are just having conversations. Anything that we say on this show is not to be taken as investment advice. Investing is risky, but if you understand what you're investing in, if you are listening, especially what you're doing, it's also part of a way to reduce or to de-risk. So you really need to understand what you are investing in. So please help me welcome my colleague, Coach Blooming. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you, Isaac. I'm always excited every Friday because we have this conversation. It's just something that, two friends are just having a discussion about the stock and the crypto market. So welcome,
Yes.
everybody.
And one thing that I like to be transparent about is that what we talk about here is also what we are also doing, right? We'll be transparent about those. And we also share some of the wins and other, updates. Like, for example, we shared last week that we will be working on a trading course for those who want to join. So these are some of the things that we are doing in a practical sense. So now let's go straight up to share what is happening in the US markets. As you can see on the screen, this is what is happening in the market as we speak. Today, the market is largely green as shown by this chart on TradingView. You can see here that in the equities market, the Dow Jones is up 0.64% as we speak. The Nasdaq is also 0.3%, 0.24% up, and this of course fluctuates. And you can also see that the S&P 500, that is the broad measure that I like to use mostly, is 0.53%. And this equities market has been ripping up after the swift announcement of the results. But you can also see that the VIX is picking up. Usually Fridays, they tend to be red from my experience. So today it's interesting to see that it's green. But some stocks like NVIDIA, Tesla, you can see that Tesla has been ripping up. You can see that Tesla stock this week alone after the election outcome was announced, it really went up. You can see here that it really went up big time. If you look at it like from almost below 200. Now, today, it's really ripping up. This is what it means to create wealth. If you are invested in Tesla, it dropped to 114 at some point. This year, I think it was in April. Right now, it's over 300. So that means if you had invested 10,000, but how much would that be now? Yeah,
That's over
20.
20,000. Okay.
Yes, but the thing is, like, there are also some downside risks. We don't want to
Yes.
overplay the fact that you can always make money, because that's not the case. So
Yeah.
this is the overview in the market. Coach, do you want to jump in and
Yeah.
comment on this?
Yeah. So I think that the fact that we got a decisive landslide victory Tuesday night is just a testament to what we know already, that time in the market always beats time in the market.
Yes.
I'm going to say that again. Time in the market always beats time in the market, because if you see what has just happened for the past few days, it just means that a lot of money has been sitting on the sideline. And
Yes.
now that we have the victory, there's not a lot of uncertainties in the market.
Yes.
And now a lot of money is just pouring into the market that has been sitting on the sideline. So what does this really mean? It just means that for people that have been buying, even when the market has been down, now you're just sitting, you're just waiting and seeing your portfolio just swell. Look at the S&P 500, it's been up. The Nasdaq, the Dow, it's just been up. And even when we look at the crypto market across the board, right, we're seeing everything has just been rising. But in as much as, yes, we're very excited about this, it's also very important to know that time in the market usually beats time in the market. And that's just what we're just seeing displayed just this week.
Yeah. And just to add on that, Coach, for example, let's say you were not invested and the S&P 500 went up by 10% in a single day, for example. So if you were in the market, still, even though it was down, it would have gone up. But let's say it goes again another 10%, that's a 20% rise. So even if it drops by 5%, even if you get it, you are still going to have lost these huge gains. So if you miss the big rallies in the market, right? Which we don't know when they will happen, right?
Right.
And the pullbacks, which we don't know when they will happen. That's the key to investing, to say if you understand what you're investing and if you have a long-term time horizon and specifically on things that you understand. I emphasize this, Coach Blooming also emphasizes this because it's very possible to lose money. Right now, people are expecting that with the incoming Trump administration come January 20th, there might be a lot of policies like deregulation, lowering of corporate tax, which might still accelerate the upswings in the
Yep.
bull run, right?
Yep.
But it is not to say there are no risks. The point is you should always understand that the market does not always go up. So what should you do? This is not investment advice. For me, I always want to have a hedged portfolio. What do I mean by that? I want to have assets that are not positively correlated or uncorrelated with the equities market. In other words, if the equities market is continuing to go up, I can have some cash, right? Just sitting there, maybe 20% of the portfolio, right? And then in case the market pulls back or drops, or sometimes even drops very unexpectedly, I can then average down only on things that I understand. And most of the time, Coach Blooming and I, we will be finding wonderful companies, even if they are overvalued at the moment, analyzing them. And such moments, are the best times for me, at least if the structural change of that particular stock that we'll be looking at will not have changed. So that's what I wanted to share. Coach, do you want to highlight what do you see this incoming Trump administration impacting the market? How do you see it? Also with Elon coming in, if he gets the Department of Government
Yeah.
Efficiency, right?
Again, the fact that at least we know who is going to be in the White House next year. Some of the things that we've seen apart from the rally so far, and this is just something that I posted on my X account, like number one, in terms of policy expectation, this is going to be pro business, meaning that deregulation, tax cut, there are some sectors that we're expecting. Again, none of this is financial advice. There's some sectors that we're expecting will do well, energy, financials, and even
Yes.
because, again, we saw that just yesterday with the Fed, with the US Fed interest rate cut by 25 basis point. Again, these are some of the tailwinds that I truly believe is going to help propel us into even higher levels for 2024 and even to 2025. And apart from that, I remember right on election night, we saw Bitcoin went to all-time high. Again, we're going to see a lot of um, money pumping into crypto because, again, Trump is a very pro-crypto president. And even apart from that, in terms of people that are just coming in here, example, tech, crypto, banking, energy sectors, these are sectors that I truly believe that, yeah, they are going to benefit from Trump being in the White House. But in as much as we're very excited about this and say, hey, I expect that the stock market and the crypto market is going to do well. I remember in the previous market commentaries, I did say that I'm truly expecting a strong Q4. For example, I think we did mention this that just earlier this year, Tesla was just around $144. And today it has already grown past $317 just on one share. And I always want to emphasize that this is one of the ways that this is how we just make money over time effortlessly. I also like to learn from other people that are doing amazing things. What do I mean by this? For example, now we've been studying what has been going on in the market, even from the beginning of this year, and even how we share in our investment group that, hey, these are some of the stocks that we're looking at. But one of the things that I've often found out is that most people don't get into either stocks or crypto at when the market is at the bottom. They just wait. They wait until when the stock market is rallying, and then they come knocking at Isaac, and Isaac just, oh, Isaac, oh, Blooming, I want to buy the stock. Should I buy? Should I? I'm just like, I can give you specific guidance on this. Because again, when we study the ultra wealthy, you say that they tend to just buy when the market is down. And what do the poor people tend to do? They tend to do the opposite, meaning that
Yep.
when the thing has already skyrocketed, that's when they are not coming in. So what I'm just trying to say is that yes, we're very optimistic about both the crypto and the stock market, but it's even very, very essential to understand what you were doing. If you don't understand it, reach out to practitioners, meaning that people that are already doing what you're trying to do. So that's my take on this for now. And again, I still expect a strong Q4 into
Yeah.
2025.
And it seems like, yeah, congratulations to the Tesla boost. And another way to be exposed to companies like Tesla, Palantir is to buy indices like the S&P 500. It's still somewhat a smaller percentage, but still what it means is on average, at least you have some exposure. Now, I think it is also important to say, and I keep on saying this because I write in some newspapers in Zimbabwe, and a lot of people, they reach out, they say specific questions like you say. And each time that you say, book time so that we talk about this. Investing, it has a lot of parameters that we have to understand, right? For example, your age, your risk tolerance. For me, I prefer to have an emergency fund. I've said it before, right? So that even if the market drops, if I lose my income streams, I'm not going to be selling at the bottom, and also not using the margin account without even understanding how to use it profitably and having stop losses if you are trading. So those are some of the things that I say. This is free information, but at the end of the day, always ask questions. Even if you go with your money to the bank about the reports, they do a good job asking like the risk tolerance, and then they tailor a specific, portfolio for you, right? Of course, for a fee, which can be even, I think, even more than 2%, which I understand because the fund manager has to spend time monitoring the markets, rebalancing the portfolio. So that's work. There's really nothing in this world, from my little experience, that you can just get for free. There's no free lunch. You have to sacrifice something. Either it's your time, it's your money. And I wanted to just put it out there. Now, Coach Blooming and I, we are also available on social media platforms. Like for me, I'm regularly posting my insights almost every weekday on my website, streetwiseeconomics.com. And Coach Blooming also has the website, which
Yeah.
I will
So
put
like,
on the comment. Yeah.
yes, even just on Facebook,
Yes.
LinkedIn, across all the social media platforms. Because why? There's some information that is just happening in the market and you just want to be able to digest this.
Yes.
Okay, this is just insights that we share with our community. And it's just some way that you can, even if you understand the basics about investing, you're able to just pick up some clues or some insight that we're sharing. And you're able to even apply that into your investing strategy. Again, even though we don't give investment advice, but we are practitioners, meaning that we invest. Most people, when they want to invest, they don't want to learn about this and they don't know that money is a game.
There's a language.
Yes, it's a game that you need to understand the rules of engagement and also how to play to win. For example, now I see a lot of people, they want to start investing, but they just want nuggets of, oh, this is what you should do. Okay, this is what you should buy. Oh, this is what you should sell. And I'm like, no, it's just like somebody that doesn't know how to drive a car. And all of a sudden you're saying, but I mean, what button should I press? I'm like, I don't know. Take the time to learn. For example, if you go to see your doctor and you just say, oh, doctor, what medication should I take? The doctor cannot prescribe anything to you if the doctor has not done at least some analysis, some test on you to know what is going on with you. The same with money. Money is a game, and those that understand how to play it will play to win. For example, you invested $100,000 at the beginning of this year,
Yeah.
maybe into Tesla. At the end of the year, if it's not even December yet, you've already more than doubled your money.
Yeah.
Again, what kind of effort are you going to make? Meaning that you're going to a physical job to
Yeah.
just generate that? No, but you can use systems. You can use the market to generate some of this wealth, and you don't even need to do any other thing than just knowing what to buy, when to buy, and just leave. Let the market do its thing. Again, money is a game, and those that know how to play it, we're just winning big time. So, in as much as yes, we're excited about the equities market and the crypto market, we always emphasize the need to learn because we can learn this thing. It's not rocket science. For example, the thing that you said about
Mhm.
delegating investing to the financial institution.
Yeah.
Yes, it's okay. But if we're going to be truly honest with ourselves,
Yeah.
majority of people that just come to us that, hey, I've been investing with this financial institution. Most times when you look at the return, it doesn't beat the S&P 500 over
Yeah.
maybe 5 years or 10 years. And again, they've been losing so much money. Now, people pay some money to learn about this. You're losing more with ignorance because you're paying more with the ignorance
Yes.
than just you're paying for knowledge from somebody that is already a practitioner. Again,
Yeah.
in as much as we're very excited about this, a smart thing to do is to always learn from a practitioner, meaning that somebody that is investing and is making profit. I mean, this is something that Isaac and I, we talk about. Hey, do you see what is going on in the market? Hey,
Yeah.
do you see what is going on with Palantir? Do you see what is going
Yeah.
on with SPY? Again, this is very, very exciting, but that's always my thing, that learn before you invest. So over
Yeah.
to you, Coach.
Coach, I'm going to ask you, have you ever lost
Oh, yes.
money in the market? I've also lost some money, but the good thing is I've made more money compared to what I've lost. And
Yeah.
I've also learned some lessons.
I remember, I think 2021, we were at the height of the
Yeah.
equities market. Everything was just bullish. Everything was going up, crypto, stocks. But that was when, I think 2022, when the Fed started to pivot. Then I didn't truly understand the implications
Of increasing interest rate.
on a risk on asset. Meaning,
Yes.
so for example, there are some stocks that, for example, I think Neo, there's a lot of other financial institutions. I don't
Yes.
want to mention them specifically.
Yes.
So when I got into those stocks, I was like,
Yes.
oh, I love this stock. I love this company.
Yes.
But when the stock just dropped maybe 1%, 2%,
Yeah.
I panicked. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to sell this thing.
Yeah.
And there is one that I specifically bought at maybe $250. It went down up to maybe $75.
Yeah.
But because I wasn't convinced. I didn't
Yes.
have a high conviction in that stock.
Yes.
So I'm like, you know what?
I'm done.
I'm going to call my losses. But what did I learn from that?
Yeah.
I never buy a stock that I don't know. Meaning
Yes.
that I've not done research. I don't understand the business. I don't really admire or respect the leadership because the market is always going to be shaky. And some of the things that you've researched over time is going to carry you through. For example, we've seen the prime example with Palantir. I think we've started buying Palantir in
Yeah.
the low 20s. Some got into Palantir at $7.
I think it was $7. But
Yes.
the point I think I must also stress is it's really extremely difficult to predict the direction of the stock market or the stocks. It can very well go to zero. It's a possibility, right?
Yep.
So that's why it's also important to manage your risk. But it's easy to look at it when you're looking on the rear view,
Upward.
right? But
Yes.
at least what we have seen, if a stock has strong fundamentals, that means if you look at their financials, if you look at their leadership, their track record, and more importantly, looking at what the analysts, specialists in that specific field are saying in terms of their value, right, of their valuation. And kind of like for me, I want to take the conservative approach. Let's say the analyst target is like 70, the others say 50, others 40. I take the average, right? And I also do my own analysis as well to look at their cash flows and stuff like that. But I think at the end of the day, that is very, very important before we pivot on to economic data.
A lot of people are still waiting on the sideline when it comes to crypto. Just on election night, I think Bitcoin went over 75,000 American dollars. And I'm guaranteeing you that a lot of people are still going to wait until Bitcoin gets to $100,000 before they start FOMOing in, meaning before they have this fear of missing out. Smart money is when you're buying when an asset is still low. We can see here that Bitcoin all-time high over 76,000 American dollars. But even this year alone, Bitcoin was still at $44,000. Now it's at $76,000. While I'm not saying that, oh, you should go and run and buy Bitcoin now. I'm just saying that it's important to study what the ultra wealthy are doing and just simply copy. Is crypto very risky? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's risky. But if you don't know what you're doing, just learn. A lot of money is going to be made in this crypto boron. The fact that just these few days we've seen the equities and the crypto market just rally. This is just the beginning of what is going to come. I was reading on CNBC again. This is not an endorsement. It's been projected that before Trump gets into the White House, January 2025, Bitcoin could hit 100,000 American dollars. Again, this is not saying that you should go ahead and do this, but I'm just showing you that there is a possibility of seeing Bitcoin that was $44,000. This 2024 is now at $76,000. So the likelihood of it still going higher is still there. For example, we can see the performance of MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is a publicly listed company. They've been buying Bitcoin since I think 2020 or 2021. If we compare the rate of return just over the span of 4 years and compare that to other assets, obviously bonds has not been doing well compared to Bitcoin. But I'm just saying that even if you don't understand crypto, spend some time to understand it.
This is the story, like you can see here, that real estate, because I have people who say, I want to invest in real estate. And I'm not saying it's bad. You need a home to stay. But this is what the data is telling you to say over the past 4 years, if you had invested in Bitcoin, your money would have gone up by 51%. If you had invested in the Magnificent Seven alone, you could have compounded your money, let's say it's 28%. So the money could have grown in that. You can see that bonds here, they are down. But I wanted to say that there's a place for bonds, especially maybe if you are someone who is at the edge of retirement, because the past couple of years, the market has been on a bull run. There are moments when the market can possibly drop 40, 50, 60%. That's when you can see this chart flip,
Yep.
right? And then you see the performance on the bonds. But
Yes.
what I've seen again and again is, in my approach, is that as long as the company has strong fundamentals, yes, great like financial situation, like the little or no debt, like companies like Palantir, for example, it's not an investment, but these are facts, right? They have great leadership. Those companies are really strong, and even if that company drops, most likely it's going to go up, right?
Yep.
Now, I wanted us to talk about the economic data because sometimes, these are things that move the market. And I'm going to just quickly share. This week, there was a lot that happened. The Fed reduced the benchmark rates by 25 basis points, like what Coach said. And what this means is money is cheaper. And when their chair, Jerome Powell, was asked what was he going to do if Trump was to ask him to resign. And the point, I think, is that in the US, my understanding is that the Fed at least acts independently and
Independent, yes.
yes, at least in principle. But the point also is that, it works in conjunction with the fiscal policy, that is the government. So now the Trump administration, they're crafting their economic policy, and then the Fed is going to use the data and their models to see how best they can work to make sure that they build wealth. They can make sure that the American economy is resilient. Buffett also says, never bet against the American economy. A lot of people have done that. They have the last laugh. And I'm not saying things may not change, things may change. Now, you can see these were the major events and they've already happened. So let's see next week. Next week, we're going to have core inflation. Again, these are some of the things that can possibly spook the markets. If there is a sense that inflation is stubborn, that might signal that since the Fed is signaling that they will make their policies based on the data, which includes core inflation, they might potentially not reduce or cut rates or even increase them. So what that does is that the market will have to reprice it, because right now I think if you look at the website that tracks aggregates what most analysts are thinking about the potential rate cuts, it's saying I think there's a 70% probability of a rate cut in the upcoming meeting, right? So if that flips, it means if that is different, the market has to readjust. So this is how people make or lose money in the market. So at the end of the day, these data points will continue to be dropped. But what is important, at least from my experience, is that understand the things that you're investing in. Don't just jump into things that you don't understand. Sometimes people get in at the top. Is this the right price to get in? Well, that's what you should then reach out to Coach Blooming or myself, and then we can talk about the valuation, right? Because if you understand valuation, you understand that at some time, some stocks may be overvalued, some stocks may be undervalued. You don't want to be getting in, and I'm not saying or supposing that Tesla is overvalued or undervalued. You want to have a better idea of doing that. Coach, do you want to comment as we are about to wrap up?
As much as Tesla has been on a tear since just a few days, right?
Yeah.
We're just under 200 just a few days ago.
Yeah.
Let me see, one week we're at 250 and today we're already at 325. This is exciting, but I will also say that it's important to stay cautious. But those of us that have been buying Tesla at 144, 178, in the lower 200, and I still remember right after
It means you are rich, Coach. You are richer than you were when you're buying, objectively speaking.
So, like, I want to emphasize
At
that I
least on
remember,
paper.
yes, on paper. I remember right after the cyber events,
Yes.
RoboCab on unveiling,
Yeah.
and I remember Tesla stock panicking. And I had this conversation with a group of people that, hey, why is this going down? And I specifically said that the most money is going to be made when the market misunderstands a stock
Yeah.
or a
And
company.
you were right
And I
about that.
remember just
Mhm.
buying. But just remember that I've been buying when this thing was much lower and just waited. And this goes back to what we said earlier, that time in the market always beats time in the market. But those people that don't want to be exposed to a specific stock, just do the ETFs. You would be good because why? You still have some exposure to this gain. It might not be as volatile as just owning an individual stock. And that's where knowing who you are as a person, as an investor, really, really matters.
I think understanding who you are as an investor, I love that statement.
As we go into the new week, it's important to know that, for example, what happened in crypto this week? We've seen crypto Bitcoin go to the all-time high again, but it's also important to understand the times and the season. We're saying that we're going to have a new administration that is pro Bitcoin, that is pro crypto. I'm telling you, Coach Isaac, we're going to refer to this video in the next few months when Bitcoin would have crossed $100,000,
I'm looking forward to that, my
$120,000,
friend.
and some people are still going to FOMO in. And I'm saying, position yourself strategically now. In as much as, yes, Bitcoin has gone up, but also consider other categories. I shared before in the last market commentary, there's 72% year to date, 29% for Ethereum. If you go down the list like that, but there are other categories like the memes. I'm not endorsing memes. For memes, your money can go to the moon and it can go down to the toilet, meaning that you can lose all of your money.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying that crypto is presenting us a lifetime opportunity to just build tremendous wealth. In as much as I'm not endorsing any specific coin or crypto or stock, just saying that as a smart investor, I will allocate some of my wealth into
Yeah.
stocks. I'll also allocate some into crypto.
It's very exciting. And I will say that for me, in terms of Bitcoin, I allocate a very small portion, like the money that is, I am willing to lose, right? But I'm big on equities and having cash and trading. So this just speaks to say, even though Blooming and I are very good buddies, our investing strategies are different. And as an investor, it's important to do things that enable you to sleep peacefully. That's the most important thing. If the market drops by 40, 50% and you're already sitting on the edge, probably you are taking way too much risk. So assets like cryptocurrencies, they can be very volatile. I wanted to emphasize that. And anything and everything we say here, it's not to be taken as investment advice. These are just our insight. But allow me to thank you so much for paying attention up to this end. I will allow Coach to say some concluding remarks as we wrap
Yeah.
up the conversation for this weekend. Coach, again, you can also give people a teaser of some things they should expect in the upcoming weeks and months.
Yes. So again, I'm still very, very bullish on stocks and crypto. I expect a strong Q4 leading into 2025. And I'm always going to emphasize on any video that we make that this is not financial advice or investment advice. But I love to study the trend. And when I see that there's some catalysts, there's some tailwinds that are going to propel our portfolio, it's not too late to get into stocks. It's not too late to get into crypto. Because why? This is how we, the rich, make our money work for us in the market. This
Yep.
is just a system that is creating wealth for us, whether we're asleep or whether we're shopping or whether we're doing grocery shopping on anything.
Yep.
This system keeps generating money for us. And if you're still clueless on how to start, reach out to Isaac, reach out to me. This is what we coach people every single day. We talk about what's going on in the market. And as always, may the market always be in our favor. Over to you, coach.
Hallelujah. That's exciting. And thank you so much. And trade and invest wisely. Next week, again, we will be here, God willing, with Coach Blooming, giving you what we think about the markets and insights as always. Again, take care and make sure to subscribe, comment, tell us what you think about where the market is going or what risks you think could, derail this excitement in the market. See you next time and talk to you soon. Bye bye for now.